and somewhere here I do have a list of things that we can look at. I thought before we can get ready for something quite faint by going to Thor's helmet. Let's try and go there and see if we can find that and look at that, and then we can do some galaxies. The galaxies are rising pretty much right now, but they'll be ready momentarily. So if I can find Sirius, I know it's on the other side of the meridian, which is that white line there. And there's Orion, and there's Sirius. Oh, Taurus is going to be not far away. It's right in Monoceros, right, I'll center it. It's right more or less where that red X is now. And yep, there's Thor's. I will center that, and I'm just going to slew to cursor. This is Sky Tools. I really like this. You can navigate around very easily, find something with just the, on the chart and slew to it. Or you can use an observing list. Either way, here comes the telescope. People can see where the telescope is coming in and zooming in on the target. There we are. So we can shift back now to the MallinCam. So I hit the wrong MallinCam. I hit the MallinCam that belongs to my laptop, and I should hit the MallinCam belonging to the stick. Here we go. Okay. Wow, it's a different field of view for sure, but I don't see it. Do you think it could possibly be so faint? Let's the gain is at 50%, and that's a 5-second exposure, although I suppose we could go to 10. I'm aligned pretty well, I think. Well, it certainly brightened up the scene. Let's go to the histogram and fix that. So these are 10-second exposures rolling off, and it should look more or less better now. There's the, there I guess it is. It certainly is a very dim object right there in the middle. Do you see it? So let's use some strategies and see if we can bring this in better. This is indeed faint. Whew. Well, let me stop it, and we will do digital binning. That's going to make it 4 times brighter. This camera's got so many pixels we can afford to do binning and lose a factor of 4, and we'll have a very nice image. So let's see. So I go down here near the histogram, and here's the digital binning. We're binning now 2 by 2. And I guess we can start looping. Now it's going to go white, probably. So I'm going to, if I can't adjust it with a histogram, we're going to have to change the gain or the exposure time or something. Yeah, the peak of the histogram has moved off the graph. It's over to the right-hand edge. So that's just too much light. So I'm going to keep 10 seconds, but I'm going to lower the gain down. And what we're trying to do is get the peak of the histogram to show. Okay, I'm looping again. Hi, Jack. Jack, I'm glad you're there to answer some questions. Were they asking about the Sky Tools? And then Mark said, did you figure out the CPU slow down you noticed the first time? Oh, that CPU slowdown. I think it was a Microsoft update going on the stick, so I scheduled the update to outside of hours, so it's not going to bother us. Let me fix that histogram. Everyone's watching here. So we got a peak now in the middle of the graph, which is good. And I'm bringing the dark set up to the left-hand side of that peak. Gosh, I'm just not able to bring that in at all tonight. We have a considerable amount of haze, and it's possible that's what's affecting us. You see some vignetting there with rather extreme contrast. Doesn't look any better than the first image we had where we didn't do the digital binning. Well, hopefully it's just a local patch of haze. Let's move on to some other object. See how we can do. Let me see if I can get to M8081. And for that, what I want to do is stop this and put my gain back to midway at 50%. And I want to inactivate the digital binning because I want to see what this galaxy is going to look like with standard resolution. Okay, so let me activate the camera again. And I should be able to go over now to the Sky Tools and get us to the galaxy. There I did it again. I'm going to need some kind of a electric shock reminder about clicking the right icon. So I've got two rows of icons over each other that I showed earlier. The row of the stick icons, that tray is on top of the tray of icons for my laptop. And here we go. And let's see if we can find M81. M81 is going to be over here in the springtime sky. Right there, Bode's Galaxy. Labeled nicely. Now, camera's a black and white camera, so we're not going to see any color tonight. Hi, Matt. Welcome. Good to see you there. And Ski? Hey, Ski, it's my buddy. How you doing? Okay, so all I need to do is slew the scope now over there. The scope is slewing to M81. Yeah, just be a second. While it's slewing, I'm going to run over and grab a cup of coffee. I'll be right back. That's one advantage of broadcasting from inside. So Jack and everybody, we were kind of blown away because we set up to look at Thor's helmet, although we were thwarted because of the haze. The camera, the 16 megapixel camera is being handled by this little compute stick. uh, with no problem at all. It feels just like the much smaller DS 2.3, which is very good. Oh, and Jack, you got it going. A long USB cable and SkyTools. And Jack, that's a does that allow you now to get that palette for controlling position through SkyTools? Yeah, control the mount. Uh-oh. Well, Jack, I think if you get that stick, you'll love it. You'll be on the road with your camper. You could set up a scope and be inside where it's comfortable, AC and no mosquitoes. What's not to like? Although it is nice to be out with the stars, of course, as well. Okay, let's see if we can see the sky with the camera. This time I'm hitting the correct icon, I hope. And this is a little bit bizarre. I don't see it. Let's see. I'm going to, we're on 10 seconds. Let me go down and fix the histogram. That's why. There it is. Okay, we're going to start with about a 70-point spread on our histogram. There they are. Okay, now I see M82, our little companion is up there. This is M81 right here in the middle. So I want to compare that orientation as we get set up here with the orientation in, on the map. So let's take a look and see what that would look like. Well, according to this, M82, how do we have to flip it? We have to flip it both vertically and horizontally compared to the present, right? Right. Okay, so let's go back to the camera and do the flipping. MallinCam. There it is. We have to bring M82, which is in the upper right, down to the lower left. So let's go to the flipping panel. In our menus here, flip. Have to click on horizontal and vertical. Ta-da! There we go. Okay, we like that much better. Now I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit. You can already see the spiral shape in M81. And we can see all those beautiful starburst regions in M82. Maybe we ought to look at that first because I don't think it's going to take much more amplification than what it already has here. Quite a lot of detail. Isn't that nice? That's fun. It's one of the reasons I was interested in this camera. So here, this is full res. There's no digital binning right now. And so we have the full resolution of this black and white camera. Now on my background, I'm picking up kind of a waffle pattern out in here. Do you guys see that? There's kind of a cross-hatching that appears out there. Do you see that at all? Matt, it's nice, huh? Look at the detail in that guy. That's quite nice. What's not to like about that? Okay, now let's try. Maybe I'll grab a snapshot of that while we're at it. M82. That's fun. And then with the stick, I'm finding I have to go a little bit easy on it. I can't abuse it with like overlapping commands. Save these pictures while I'm setting up a change in the intensity while stacking. And that's all too much for it, and then it just kind of locks up. But that was true with just the laptop. Gosh, we're seeing a lot of stuff. There's another galaxy down here I see, down in the lower right. What a camera. Okay, let's see. So 82 behind, and we're focusing on the spiral arms there. I don't want that core to burn out too much more, so I'm going to give it some gamma. I'm going to put the gamma down at about 0.35. Let's leave it there for a minute and see what that will do. And then just activate the looping. There we go. Now, for some reason, I don't see the progress bar. Here we go. Okay, let me fix the image here with my KVY cam. Hang on a second, folks. I got some adjustment to do. Okay, things have reached around. Now activate that area. There we go. And I don't have any acquisition going. So what I'm going to do is save some pictures, try to get it going here. Batch save. That away. I've been getting the white flash. Does anybody know what that means? Okay. All right, so I can throw that picture away. Here it goes. All right, now that's just a matter of me needing to fix the histogram for us here. There we go. And I've got a peak in the field, so that's great. And I see the progress bar operating there. Let's see what this brought us. Oh, that's still makes me wonder. Nothing's happened here. Let me quit this and restart it. Okay. Okay, gain is at 50%, and I should remember my gamma. It didn't, so I'll turn it, push it down. So that won't happen until I've activated trigger. Well, oh, that's to start the camera. All right.
Operation completed.
Okay, let me try this one more time. There we go. Start the camera. Well, I was bragging about smooth operations, but oh, I guess it's there. The frame is there. It's just very faint. And then, okay, so let me go down and check gamma. Yep. And then check my histogram. And we will move the dark set up. And we'll move the white set down. And let's get this going. Okay, trigger mode and looping. There we go. Sorry, it's all kind of new for me, but we'll get there. Oh, it's a twofer, 97 and 108. Yes, that's a great combination. Okay, let's go down and fix the histogram again. Okay, let's see what happens here. So I've got the black set now on the middle of that peak in the histogram, on the left-hand edge, halfway up. Well, in your image, I can't really see this kind of a fixed pattern noise that I'm picking up in my image. We can see the arms, but gosh, it's not too impressive. Not with these conditions. Let's think on this. So let me, we're talking about right now a 50-point spread on the histogram. So it's high contrast and a gamma of 0.3, and the exposure time is 20. So, well, something I'm not doing right. It doesn't look that much different from how we had it before without the... Okay, I'm going to take the gamma off. So hang on. Stop. And then let's take the gamma off. Default is 1.0. And I have a 20-second exposure. Or I thought I did. Let me look. Yes, 20 seconds. That's nice. Well, let's go down to 10 seconds. And I'm going to digital binning. There's 10 seconds now. Gain at 50%. And let's go down and fix the digital binning, and then we'll loop there. Digital binning, and then loop it. Okay, I have to fix the histogram. This might be doing something. Let's see what this will look like. So right now the dark set is just touching the base of the spike on that histogram. And I'm kind of disappointed with myself, but we'll get this worked out. Increasing that contrast does not bring anything else more out, so that's not the answer. It looks like it just simply needs more photons. So we could just try doing a stacking operation. And I'm looking at where my peak is in the histogram. It's right in the middle, centered right in the middle. So we have room. So let's go ahead and do a stack of a couple and see what that does for us. So I'm going to the bottom for stacking. And we're going to add additive stacking, and I'm going to do the original and 2 to start with and see what that does. Well, it looks like it jammed the progress of the operation, doesn't it? Let me unhook us from that. There it goes again. The and Jack is telling me that I have the CS325. They come with Windows Home for about $330. That's right. So Jack found the stick for about $440, and I guess that's the 525 they've been talking about. Windows Pro brings it up for another $170. So opposed to $600. Yeah, it's too bad we don't have knowledge about how the whole thing would work, you know, with a 525 stick. Oh, there's haze. Look at the clouds going over. That's our problem probably tonight. There's no way we're going to bring in galaxies really well with cloud layers. It's going to rain here tomorrow, so that's probably what's going on. And you're right about that, Jack. These sticks have a lot of computing power, and they're relatively a quarter of the cost of a laptop. Well, there we are. There we are doing additive stacking. I'm going to darken the background now. That peak in the histogram's popping around because of the cloud cover. So this is going to darken it for us a little bit. So I think the haze that we have, and you saw evidence of the clouds moving over, and the fact that it's not overhead makes the object still a challenging target for us. Last night I brought it in really nicely with my DS 2.3 Plus. That's a color camera. So let me grab a picture of that. now I see some detail in there. And I think we can darken it still more. Got so many windows open. Let me close some of this stuff. I really don't need. We're not doing any dark field. We're not doing any flat field correction. I'm only doing stacking. There's no color to adjust. We flipped everything. Frame rate, I'm not touching the frame rate. Here we go. Okay, that's better. We're sure to get a pink Floyd or a black and white Floyd because my histogram is kind of wonky here. Hey Steve, thanks for joining. A little rocky here, and I don't have a cooperative sky as it turns out. So there's M81. Okay, and then Jack suggested 97 and 108, so let's go there. They're down here. We'll go right between the two. And we should be able to bring them in. SkyTools has a very handy tool for estimating whether we can see everything in one frame or not. And I'll call it up. It's called the context viewer. So there's the frame that corresponds to my camera. And you can see that they should fit nicely into the frame of this camera with no trouble. Okay, so let's go and take a look. And I will just simply go over and, well, Sim Cleaner plus Sim Cleaner. I spent a fair amount of time trying to figure out how to stop these adverts from coming in. Now we're slewing to the cursor, the Owl Nebula and M108. Here comes the telescope. Let's go now to the camera. Oh, rats. Rats. I don't remember to turn off the stacking. Oh, it is off. Okay. And there we are. So that was definitely a lag, going from the old 81 and then updating, so we saw 108 and M97 here. And I don't see the progress bar for there being a new exposure coming on. What do you suppose that means? I took a picture. According to this, it should be still rolling, but it's obviously paused. There's nothing in the live stacking queue. So let me see if I can save my work, and if I have to. Sometimes saving jolts it back to life. I had a question today, might have been from Mark Kohler, about whether or not I needed a single processor or not. And I said I didn't think I did, but I thought maybe it helped. Right now I don't have it working, so let's go and check and see if it's that would help us. So I'll go to MallinCam Sky, and this is in the task manager, and I'm setting the affinity for just one of these processors. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Well,
operation completed.
Yeah, I brought up the task manager on the stick, and often that jolted things to life, but it's not here right now. The program seems to be really and truly jammed. Stop. If I stop and go to video mode, I don't have anything. Go to trigger mode and loop. There's nothing happening. Yeah, look at the detail though in 108. Let me that seems to be a refresh. But I don't see any progress bar. So I'm going to quit. I saved those pictures. I should save that one. And batch save it, and then I'll quit and reload it. Okay. And let's reload it. Click on the camera and go down here and click on trigger. It's on 10 seconds right now, and we'll loop it. Gain is at 50%. Now we see the progress bar. And let's see where the histogram comes out. Pretty faint. Okay, so I'll put the white set at 100. And we'll move the dark set up. You know what? We've got a lot of haze out there. Grr. Yeah, I can hardly see anything. So that's not the camera, folks. That's just the sky conditions. I just have the signal to noise is so low now that it's I'm just bringing out some artifact and some bright stars. D, if you are taking a request, could you try IC2574? Yep, I sure can. IC 2574. There we go. Add it to my list. Okay. And it's an IC 2574. Let's see, I can alphabetize the list and scroll to it. Well, it's not in that list. Maybe it's got a popular name. Coddington's Nebula. Okay. Well, here we go. In the atlas. Well, maybe the old compute stick's not going to handle this so well. I've never had SkyTools not immediately go to its Atlas location, so you try reloading this program. SkyTools. Once we load the SkyTools, we're going to make a quick check on the processor rate. Let's see, so there it is, and I need to connect the telescope. There's my palette, it popped up. Then I can go to IC, or Coddington's it was, wasn't it? Okay, Coddington's. There we go. And then slew to cursor. So Ski, what is this guy? Here's our OLEP. And Ski published it right there. Let me grab it and scroll it down so I can read it too. It is a faint dwarf irregular galaxy receding from us 50,000 light years across, located small 12 million light years away in the northern constellation of, okay, well, it sounds like it's small and faint. Well, there may be something right in the middle of that frame. Now let's see what we can do to bring it out better. I'm already at 10 seconds. I could increase the gain a step. There's the gain at 75%. Let's loop that and see what happens. The image is going to get very white, and I'll have to readjust it. Oh, not that much. Well, since that didn't do much, let's go ahead and stop it, and we'll change the exposure time to 15. Maybe what we should do is digital binning. This is now 15 seconds. Not seeing it really yet, Ski. Right-click on the target in the chart and call up a DSS image. Yeah, I could do that. Well, we can see the little faint smudge there, Ski. There you go. That's all I can give you tonight. But Jack had a point that we can look at it. I can show you a DSS image of this. Get the DSS image at the cursor and get the image, and we're going to go for a blue image. They come in red and blue flavors. And if I zoom in, there it is. This is the digital sky survey that was used for piloting the Hubble telescope. And you can see the galaxy there. It's very elongated, has some star clusters, it looks, in some H2 regions, some extended arms that come off from it. That's kind of cool. So this is a nice feature of Sky Tools that you can do that. And I'm going to double click on the red square here and remove the photo. Wrong. There, delete. Yes, there it goes. And then we go back to the camera. Well, I don't think we should struggle with this one because it would take an awful lot more to bring that out. Just one more thing we can check and understand, and that's where this was located. Let me back off. Oh, well, right near Bode's Galaxy, so it's coming up. It's something like maybe 45 degrees elevation, and that's about as good as it's going to get. So good choice, Ski, but I think my skies are just suboptimal tonight.
Operation completed.
Okay, let's go back. Let me pick something for us to go to. So we go to M106 or even 2403. That's a beauty, and it's a little bit higher right in this area. There's 2403 right there. It's right on the meridian, so that's not the best. Let's go to M106. And if I shrink my atlas page, it's right here under the tail, there it is, of the bear. Okay, so I'll center that, and we'll go to it. M106 is close and much brighter. Completed. Lots of companion galaxies. Yeah, it's a very pretty one. Two big oblique arms coming off, and the thing is looked at obliquely. Yeah, Mark, and the whales coming up. Oh, Ski, you're welcome. I'm sorry we couldn't get it tonight. Okay, we're there, so let's go ahead and slew. Oh, there it is already. Okay, let's see if we can fix this up better. We already have 75% gain, but I can increase that. Stop. And let's take it on right on up to 90% gain. We have the exposure time at 15 seconds. Let's just see what will happen here. Because I can usually work some miracles with a histogram. Now it's going to get real bright. Not that bright. Okay, so here comes the dark set. I moved it right into the peak of the histogram on the left edge. And we're talking about 150 points right now, so let me brighten it up. There, that's 75 spread now on the histogram. There's somebody even lurking up here. That's another galaxy I hadn't noticed before. And these are some of the companions, I guess, that Jack is talking about. They're just not showing very well here. We have too much haze out there tonight. All right. Near the top, yeah. 4217. Yeah, we can bring in these other guys, no problem. Usually tonight it is somewhat of a problem. Here's the whole frame. The full frame of the DS16M. I'm looking at an image that has a fair amount of noise in it. I'm sure that's because of a lot of haze. There's nothing terribly extreme here. We have a 75-point spread on the histogram. The gamma's at 1.0. The exposure time is 15 seconds. And the gain I've put up at 90%. Now let's lower the gain. I'm kind of suspicious that I'm not doing something right. I put the gain now down at 40%. Almost like there's too much gain. Now I have to, of course, adjust that histogram. .75-point spread again on the histogram. Well, there are fewer details than there were. Well, I don't know. Hey, that doesn't look so bad. A little bit better maybe, huh? With lower gain. Definitely, I like this better. And I can see some galaxies. Two at the top, one in here. There's one over here. But just like Jack was talking about, and you can see some detail in the arms. Let me zoom it up a little bit more. And yeah, you can see some rows of star clusters and things that make up these arms. Well, that was a good lesson. Maybe we can't go to such high gain. And since I've got a 75-point spread here, I'm going to see what I can do if I brutalize with a histogram here and really squeeze it. Let's see what happens here. Not much more. No. Well, I definitely have a background in my image, which is kind of like a warp and thatch of a woven piece of fabric. I'll have to ask Brian about that if he's picking that up too. So we have two computers working, each with their own screen resolutions, and then I'm Wi-Fi transferring the first image to the second computer, so it's not a surprise we would pick something up like that. I have the screen settings the same, and we're working at 1920 by 1080. And then Brian said today that what you do, you should just simply go to the desktop of the stick, and then you look up at the top. There's a top row of icons up there that have to do with adjustments of the desktop appearance. And one of those icons says appearance, and you click on it, and he said to click optimal resolution, so I clicked on that, and that's what comes up with optimal being 1920 by 1080. You run with that, and then you match that with your master computer. Well, it's a pretty image of M106. In TeamViewer. Yes, in TeamViewer, not on the desktop of the stick, but in TeamViewer. Okay, well, shall we try to go to the whale? Let's see if we can do that. I'm going to grab a picture of this while we've got it. Now that was a gain at 40%, and let me stop. There we go, and let's go to the SkyTools program, and we'll find the whale. It's a little bit later to rise, so gosh, is it down by the Canis Venatici, or even below that, Coma Berenices? If it's in that region, that's only 30 degrees up. So, but look what I've discovered. NGC 2903 in Leo, in its nose, is 30 degrees off the zenith, so that should be pretty good. Let's take a look at this. This is one of my all-time favorite galaxies, the gorgeous barred spiral. If you haven't had a chance to look at this one, you have to do it. It's quite bright. And it also has companion galaxies roundabout. "30 degrees up? Don't you mean 60 degrees up?" 30. Let's see if that close that. Okay, settings. And here's the headset. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, close. So I got the headset back on again. I guess you can hear me, right? Sorry for these glitches. And then we'll go ahead and connect our team viewer. It failed. Log in. And that's not working so well either. Maybe the flash stick turned off. Yeah, I'm gonna put you on hold for a minute. I've got to go outdoors and I'm gonna restart the flash stick out there.